Welcome to Singles Capital. This is your girl Lex, and I'm with
Leo
and my surprise guest,
Duchesne.
All right. So hopefully you guys tuned into our last episode. This is our 6th episode. So this is going to be one of the bomb. We're going to go over a couple of topics. We're going to go over dominancy in a relationship. We're going to be holding back, snooping, or cheating. Which one is worse? So let's get into it.
Let's go.
So whether starting a relationship or being in a relationship, should dominancy be negotiated and then shared between partners, or should it just happen naturally?
I'm old school. So I'm used to it's weird because the man runs the house. This is what I'm used to. The man runs the household, right? However, it's really the woman who's back there making all the decisions, and the man is just the front. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy in the front. He's on the front lines, but she back there making all the decisions. So it look like it's him, but it's really her. So that's the household that I grew up in. That's the household that I've seen back in the days, and that's what I'm accustomed to. So I think, the man has the dominancy, but it's really the woman who's who making all the decisions. I think, I admire back in the days when men used to come home and he used to drop their check on the table and then she'll give him, you know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, for me, women make smarter decisions. Mm-hmm. Women make smarter decisions than men. They make a lot of emotional decisions, but when they're thinking logically, they make better decisions. They think about the long term. They think about short term, long term, goals and whatever it is. So I think dominancy is a facade for men. But I think that's why back in the days it was 40%, and now it's because these men now they think they know it, but they don't. But I think the women should be dominant in the background, but the men should be the dominant face and figure.
Definitely. So just to piggyback off of that, that is how I was raised up too, as far as the man. You would say he was the leader, but overall, I have to say, and it goes back to when I was thinking about Michelle Obama and just thinking about successful relationships. I think it's just more of in the relationship, both of you guys understanding. Because I'm asking you are we negotiating? But it's not really a negotiation. It's just I know what I'm good at, you know what you're good at, and then from there we both do what we're good at to make this relationship successful. Mm-hmm.
If everybody's working on their strengths, then we're strong. We're strong.
We're strong together. No matter what, this is us being strong together. I think sometimes when we make it seem I think women knew how to finesse it back then, and we made the man still feel like he was the leader, even though we were running everything. We still let him feel like he the man. The meals be cooked when he get home, and he feels like, baby, what you want me to cook tonight? So he felt superior, but we knew who's paying them bills. How did how the car payment got we were really the ones really leading the house and making sure the kids was stuff. So technically we led the whole household.
Right. And when you say paying the bills, I just hope
with his money.
Yeah, with his money, right.
His
so
money.
it's not like she was making all the money and he wasn't doing anything.
Not at all.
It was more so she was the one who was just getting the things done.
She was managing. She was the leader she was the manager of the relationship.
I agree with that.
He protected the house, but she managed the house.
And I think I believe that a lot of women nowadays have lost sight of that.
Yes.
As far as, they think that, because they grew up in the same thing we grew up in, but they looked at it or saw it differently.
Yeah.
They would see it as my mama did this and my mama did all that, or the man did all this, the man did all that, but it's really the woman kind of managed it. And I think women nowadays, the younger generation, I think they just think that the man is supposed to do everything, but that's not how it works. The man does do his part and he does pay the bill, but he gives the money to her and she pays the bills. So I think, and she divvied out whatever needed to be divvied out. Maybe he paid more of the rent than she did, and she'll give him an allowance or whatever, however it worked. But I just think nowadays it's not like that anymore. They lost sight of that, and it became something where it's just they expect the man to do everything.
Yeah. Which I don't think is fair, of course, in any relationship. There has to, or successful relationships, I think both people have to be in it to win it, right? Because we know relationships are not easy, but they are worth having. I think the biggest thing, I know we like to say men loves cake and ice cream. When it comes to that, I think this generation here, or not say generation, the way how social media or how life be life and are portraying itself now is more so women are wanting the cake and the ice cream in the relationship, and it's like relationship doesn't really work like that. There's no way that you think this man's gonna come in here, pay all the bills, and you don't work and you don't, like, what do you do? So I think yeah, you're definitely right. I'm agreeing with you. I'm, like you said, I'm taking the long route. Just to say more of, I think we do need to come back in the household and let men understand, like, we're here and we're here to manage the house. Because when we manage the house and we're doing the kids and we're doing that, I think it's not just our nature. It's like you said, it's what we're good at. I don't think men pay attention to intricate details as more than women. That's why we shop the way we shop. That's the way that we release our situation, because we're buying for our man or we're buying for our kids. You know what I'm saying?
And I was going to add on to that is that as far as the other part too of that is that it's not just managing the house, but it's also making all the plans too, right? So it's I would want my woman to be like, hey, you know, summer's coming up, the kids are going to be out of school. I think that we should, you know, these are our three options. We could go to Disney. We can do a family drive to Key West. Or these are our options. These are the price points. What do you feel more comfortable doing? And then, you know, the man says, okay, well, you know, honestly, I feel, you know, where we're at, I can afford this. Boom. And then she makes that plans. And then, you know, they do what they need to do. So I think that's another aspect too. It's not just paying the bills and managing the house and cleaning and stuff like that, but it's also just keeping everything going, you know, just being that engine oil that keeps the engine running.
The manager of the relationship. Like, yes, he's a protector, but we do manage. And if we need help managing, as a manager, you need to be able to communicate. So we need to not be so emotional, or just knowing your partner and how he communicates. If he's a person that you have to speak to and tell him it is what it is, if that's the person you're dating, if he has more, you know, the qualities that you like. Or if it's a man, he gets it. He sees that you need help and he jumps in. But I think overall, I definitely like the idea where you share dominancy in a way, shape, or form. Not saying like the man is still not the protector or he's less of a man, but it's just more of saying that we know our roles and let's do what we need to do to succeed in this relationship. Yeah. Deshaun, you got anything to add on there?
What I'd like to ask is that both of y'all got this sounding so peaceful and working so smoothly, but obviously, at least from my experience, things haven't been working out like that for most people.
No.
So where are things being lost in translation? Like, where are couples going wrong?
I think couples go wrong with this is more so being honest with themselves and with their partner, because if there's something that you're not comfortable with, you shouldn't just, you know, accept it, right? And if there's something you aren't comfortable with, you have to put it into perspective, as in, am I not comfortable with this because I'm being selfish, or am I not comfortable with this because I truly am not comfortable with it, right? So let's say if you guys, you know, let's just say it's about splitting bills, whatever the case may be, right? If one person makes more, that person has to think, okay, do I make so much more that I should be paying this, or just because he's the man and I make more, should he just be paying more by default? But I make 2 times more than him. So, you know, so it's about being honest and then also being selfless. So if you're not able to reach that point, then it'll always be friction.
So you tell him, go ahead.
And just to add on that, I also feel that it is the point of selfishness when sometimes people come into a relationship, whether they're used to being single majority of the time and now they're getting into the relationship and having to understand that this is a different dynamic. It's not, we're moving as a unit. I think a lot of people, when you have been single for so long or just been out there, you get caught up in, it's just me. It's not just you anymore. You have a partner. So you have that assistance. You have that help. I think when people get in there, it's like just me. How do I get away from he pays all this and I don't got to do nothing, or however they put it into perspective, which is really not like that. It should be, when we come into this relationship, both of our goals are intertwined. The goal is to be able to save, or the goal is to, like you said, like overall just small planning, is to take this trip. So I know if he pays all the bills, he's not going to have enough for a trip. So let me save my money to be for a trip. It's kind of having non-selfish acts in the relationships and putting egos aside, I think is being missed a lot as well too.
All right. Well, I understand where you're coming from. Both of y'all coming from, but I'm more so asking.
How realistic is this?
Yeah. Like. Let's get real. Like, cause all right. So the first thing I say, one thing just to challenge what you said, I think it'd be hard for any female or person possibly if you're the one that's the breadwinner and working the most or whatever the case is, to come in and let somebody else lead your finances. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're a man or a woman. You know what I'm saying?
When you say, what do you mean by lead your finances?
It's not saying that it's going to be easy. So let's just give an example. Deshane, you're the breadwinner, right? If you're the breadwinner, you're used to having stuff a certain way. This is what I meant by not being selfish. But you understand, like, let's just say, even though you're the breadwinner, you let's just say if you don't spend money right, and I spend money better, and I'm better at saving and managing money, I think you need to trust in your partner to let them manage. No, it doesn't happen overnight, but there is like different obstacles. Like you may trust, like, hey, I'll give you the certain money to pay the rent. She pays the rent on time. She takes care of that. Her credit is good, and she's making good financial decisions. Then why not trust in her to do that? But if, let's just say, don't get me wrong, if you're a better person, like my credit's shot out and your credit's better and you know how to manage money better, then of course, if I want this relationship to be successful, I want us to see money, I'm going to get the money to him. Because like he knows how to make money and make it work out for us in this relationship. I think that's what is missing.
All right. So first off, at least I'm coming from the perspective of, an early relationship, not where you've been with someone for extended period of time. Yeah. Like you just get into a.
That's why I say you come up with different tasks.
Yeah. So the trust that you got, at least you're referring to, at least for me, is something that's built up. If you build up to that level, then you build up. I'm more so just asking initially going in, having these conversations. That's why I said in the
initial point is like having the conversations. We're talking it out, like who can run whatever finance, who's better with finances. I'm not saying to give her all your money or she gives all her money to the man. I'm just saying there's obstacles that happens. Like when we plan trips, who's better at that? Who's better at saving? These conversation comes up. It comes up with the way you'll watch how she moves. And if that person moves better than you with finances, why not trust them?
So what you're saying sounds good. So, all right. So for me also, let's get to this point as well. Like, the difficulty I've seen is not necessarily the having a conversation. It's how you have the conversation. Yeah. And I think the initial question was about who should lead. Who should lead in a relationship. Yeah. And what I'm experiencing now is that females, just because of how society is, they just want to be heard. I don't know where they're hearing this from, like they're not being heard or whatever the case is. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. But anyways, they just want to be heard. And when you're trying to communicate with somebody, it's more so not what you say, but how you say it. Yeah. Or whatever the case is. And I think there's a lot of difficulty in just trying to communicate, trying to talk to somebody. Especially when you guys are on the same financial standing. If you make more money, it's easier to tell somebody what to do or whatever the case is. Tell somebody how things are going to go, how the money's going to flow. But if you guys are on the same financial footing or whatever the case is, and you feel this way, and you're very confident in how you feel, and the other person feels different, and now that level of respect is not there anymore.
Okay. Right. So I think in that case, if they are on the same financial footing, I think that it's not just about being heard, but it's also about listening, right? So like you have to, and that's why I said you have to be honest with yourself, because if like I know that I spend my money on gadgets, right? I spend my money on gadgets. So like, and it's just stuff I don't even need. I use it for a week and I'll never touch it again. I collect dust. But I know that about myself. So I have to be honest with myself to know, okay, if I do have an extra X amount of dollars, I need to not have it because I'm going to spend it. Right. So that it comes from within. So you have to be honest with yourself. Like, damn, like I know we have goals. And then you have to have that conversation, too, about having goals and plans and outputs on what you want to do to reach certain outcomes. So like you have to kind of like have that conversation and understand what your goals are. And when you have that conversation, understand what your goals are. Let's say you're saving up for a house or whatever. Your goal is $50,000. and you guys have said, okay, we're going to allocate, $500 a month or, $500 every paycheck to get to that $50,000. So with that being said, if you have these goals after you have this conversation, then you know that you need to be honest with yourself with what you're doing and who's better at doing what, like she said earlier.
And then to jump on that, if both of you guys do have like the same financial situation, we're both good at saving, both of us are good, both of us make the same amount of money, so there is no, in your say there's no wiggle room, we're both good at this, then to me it's like, okay, babes, you handle this and I handle this, and we both save our money, and when there's trips we both do what we got to do. But that means we're both good at that. That's not even something that we're going to spend much time on it, because it's like, okay, we know we're going to save this and we're going to buy a house, so you need to bring this to the table, I'm going to bring this to the table, and it's going to work because both of you guys are financially okay, and you guys are or financially know how to save to make.
So for me, it's like both y'all are making this very, very smooth, and for
no.
We're saying a negotiation.
No. I'm trying to make more of a conflict type situation where things are not going smoothly. The conversation ain't going. Oh, you do this better. Okay, yeah, great. You can go ahead and do it then. The conversation.
If it doesn't go to your likings, then ideally he knows what.
What are the real conversations you have with your partner?
That's what I'm saying. The conversation starts with yourself. You have to be honest with you. That's where it starts. You have to be honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, the conversation is gonna go nowhere, because I'm gonna be like, no. What
conversation you guys having with your significant others where you guys are having a disagreement with how things are going within the relationship, like in regards to finance, like who should,
we're talking about the negotiation part to mandate these things. If it's not going, but you're not giving us the situation of it. We negotiated and then there's a problem with it, because then if there is a problem with it, then we need to restructure, right? That means it's not working. We need to restructure. If both of us even come to a disagreement, because I gave you the situation, if both of us was to come with like I'm able to manage, you're able to manage, then there's not really much conversation. We just need to know how much we need to save to do what we need to do. If it's that way, there's a whole bunch of people that don't where she doesn't manage his money and he doesn't manage her money, but we understand that, hey, you're gonna pay the light bill, you take care of that part. Even though you may give me, I know the man where he gives the money to the woman and she pays the bill, even though they don't mix and match the money together. So ideally, I wouldn't say he doesn't trust her, but he doesn't give her access to all his money, but he does give her the money necessary to pay the bills because he doesn't want to take on that burden. He's not the person to remember paying the bills on time, but she is. And vice versa. I know where a woman, where she is in a relationship where even though he's the breadwinner, she brings the money that she needs to bring to the table and the bills get paid. Like to the point where he passed away, she didn't know how to pay none of the bills.
All right. So, but for me, the conversation is about, who should dominate a relationship. And
negotiate.
And at least from my understanding of what dominate is, I'm coming from the perspective of something where you guys had some type of conflict. And when I say conflict, it doesn't have to be like an argument or a fight. It's just that you feel one way, I feel different. And in this part, for example, in this part of the relationship now, I'm the dominant one, so I'm going to give the go ahead here.
So I'm saying, you're saying, for example, would be like, let's say if the child's like, I want to go to this party, and then both parents are on different sides. Mm-hmm. You're talking about that in that instance.
For example, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I like I said, I think that I honestly always believe that the woman wears the pants in the household, but the man is the front runner, right? So if the mom, but there's certain circumstances as far as where the man will wear the pants, as far as like being the protector. So I think in that particular instance, I think the man would be like, if the man's like, you can't go to this party, whether you're a young man or a young woman, if your dad says you can't go to this party, the mom could be like, yeah, you could go. But if the dad says no, usually the dad is usually the winner in that whole situation, unless the mom lets them go out without the dad knowing. But from what I've seen and what I've also experienced, if the dad usually says yeah or the dad says no, it ain't happening.
But that's in a situation where one person, remember, it's a conversation of do two people share dominance, or is it better for one person to share dominance? That's in the relationship where
that's the original question, exactly.
So in this situation that we're just describing, it's when I've identified the man is the person who has dominance. So in that situation, if there's something, let's get away from finances now, and I think that's where the most confusion was at. But if we were to say, like, because I gave him that dominance as that role, if I was to be like, oh, I'm finna go out with my girl, he was like, no, not tonight, babes. I'm be like, all right, babes, no problem. Now, if he keeps on, I think it doesn't matter who's dominant or not at that point. If every time I try to go out and he has a problem with it, it's more of like that's a whole different situation. That's more of like, what's the issue with me not being able to go out? And there's deeper issues that we need to figure out. That's not more of, because dominance mean like the first couple of times you told me, no, I couldn't go out. I respected that, right? But if there's a problem with me just going out, that's not
There's
that,
a
to
deeper
me,
conversation to be had.
that's not the same situation anymore. You have problems, you have trust issues, or you have an issue. There's something way deeper than a dominancy role.
And I
it
understand,
might be trust.
and I understand all that, but again, that to get back to your original question
Yes.
was about dominance. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm just throwing that scenario out there, because this is when you actually have conflicts in a relationship.
Yeah.
When one person feels a certain way and the other person is like, I might listen to you the first time and the second time, but after that, it's like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna go with my ego or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's where you have conflict. So to answer your original question, should one person have dominance or should it be shared? For me, I think it should be shared.
Yeah. But you're having this conversation. Remember, we're trying to avoid that, right? We're saying we're having
avoid
this
what?
Avoiding the point where you just go with the flow, and then you one day have to understand are we sharing dominancy, or are we in this together? Because I think life be life, and then people just go with the flow. We go through a honeymoon phase, and we're in a relationship, and we don't have these conversations, and then one day, it's a situation.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say,
none of this,
because we ain't never talked about none of this. I'm saying let's have these conversations early on, so we can determine, hey, before we get into this relationship, or if we're in this relationship, even if this is a fresh one, hey, babe, let's sit down and let's have this conversation. Since we're in this relationship, we're going to the next level. There's levels, there's chapters to our relationship. Let's start talking about how do we determine dominancy in our relationships.
All right.
And I also think that to add to that is that we need to start thinking at some point, maybe not at 20, maybe not at 18, maybe not at 21, but at some point you have to start thinking long term.
Yeah.
Right? And you have to start thinking of your partner. Can I long term with that person?
Yeah.
Not just short. Because a lot of times when growing up, I remember when I was younger, at some point I always thought short term. I was like, oh yeah, I want to be with this person this month, or I want to be with this person this week, or whatever the case may be. But if I started thinking long term, there's a lot of decisions I wouldn't have made because I was thinking of my long term future. I was thinking about our long term future with whoever I was talking to.
Yeah.
So we have to. The younger generation has to at some point start thinking long term. How can this affect them long term?
Yeah, because if it's a short term relationship, and like I'm not in it for marriage or not, we don't need to have none of these conversations.
Well, that's unfair, because I don't think you can know if you're in a long-term or short-term relationship.
You can't dictate.
No, it's not about knowing if you're in a
Can you
long-term or
see
short-term
them?
relationship, but it's about viewing. It's about seeing. Okay, can I spend? You have to be intentional with dating. At some point, you have to start being intentional. So you have to be like, is this person going to be fit to be a good mother? Is this person going to be fit to be a good wife? Is she nurturing? Is she this? Is she responsible? Is she clean? Does she clean up? Does she take care of herself? Does she take care of her home or wherever she's living? Like at some point, you have to start looking at these things. Can she cook?
Yeah.
That's a big thing for you. If she can't cook,
it's different. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Different.
So.
I feel like people just go into situation. I think you have to. I take it as a book. There's different chapters to every book, right? So when I get into the relationship chapter, I need to understand that is this person that I'm looking here, and I'm calling them my boo and my bae, and I know your first relationships, when you were looking at them, you were like, oh yeah, I want to be in a relationship, but I knew I was never going to marry them. I was not putting that even in my headspace to even take you seriously. So of course nothing seriously came out of it because I never talked like that. I never walked like that. We never turned the chapters to it. But if we're making these, if I see this person, I'm taking them serious and I'm looking at them long term, these are the questions that you should be having. Or asking, sorry. The questions you should be asking.
I feel you. But to get back to the original of
Yes.
the I'm sorry. What did you say? The should what is the original?
How are you rebuttaling? You don't remember?
No. I remember. I just can't remember the word.
Should dominance?
Dominance. All right. Should dominance should it be shared or should it be the
Yes.
man or the woman?
Yes.
So to answer that part of the question, I think dominance should be shared.
Yeah.
I'm not a person of equal. I'm not an equal type person when it comes to sharing. I don't believe in 50-50 when it comes to anything. You try to have balance, but at the end of the day, you're trying to balance the unbalanced, and that's how you navigate through life. So in certain scenarios or situations, I feel like a female may have dominance. Like let's say she is home more. Maybe she does work, but she's home more. I got 2 jobs. She got 1 job, or whatever the case is. If it comes to anything that has to do with the home, anything has to do with I guess with kids or cooking or something like that. If she says she wants to have this to eat tonight, then whatever she says she want to eat, then that's what we eating. It is what it is. That's what you control. But as the guy now, let's say I am working more, etc. If it comes, and me personally, I feel like I'm a good person with finance and when it comes to money. And I think that's where conflict comes in a lot of times in relationships, because I might feel like I'm good with money, but I'm more so like, good with money when it comes to like, with investing and stuff like that, or whatever the case is. Somebody else might be good with money when it comes to,
Saving.
buying stuff and saving and,
finding coupon deals,
stretching your dollars and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
replenishing your dollars
and all of that.
That's
so
me. I'm good at replenishing.
Investing, but but yeah, so that's where the conflict comes in, where being that it's a shared responsibility, because both parties are partaking it, making the money or whatever the case is. That's where you're gonna have a lot of conflict, and how do people deal with that? And then that's why I was saying, at least for me and my experience, females are a lot more aggressive nowadays when it comes to trying to stand up for how they feel about something, because they feel like they're out earning their dollars and earning their money, so they should just have just as much say so, which I do not disagree with. I definitely feel like you should have as much say so, but at the end of the day, I feel like females should respect the understanding, and personally I like the way I'm gonna say this, but at the end of the day, female or society just has to understand that men are at the end of the day strong and are able to take advantage of women and et cetera, et cetera. Obviously they shouldn't, but they should respect the fact that they don't. You understand what I'm saying? Don't just take advantage just because somebody isn't being aggressive with you or yelling in your face or holding you or trying to be physical with you or whatever the case is. Don't take advantage of that. Don't get
So don't
reckless.
take my kindness for weakness.
Pretty much, yeah.
Don't. Okay.
Yeah. Because just because somebody ain't trying to go to jail don't mean you get to talk however you want to, reckless to them.
Just because I ain't trying to go to jail don't mean I won't go to jail.
It's not, and coming from a woman's perspective, I don't think it's that. I think it's just, like I said, the biggest thing is communication, right? To understand the person that you're with, who you're talking to, and understand the communication styles that they have. I think that's the biggest thing for women and men. I think you need to understand your partner. If you understood your partner, then you understand that screaming and yelling ain't gonna work, right? Things ain't gonna get done. He's just probably gonna walk out and leave. I think that's the biggest thing that in every relationship and in every struggle is gonna be communication. But for me to you is just saying that I think as far as women needs to, I think the biggest thing for women is they don't trust, and they're scared to trust the man to lead. It's just vulnerable and being truthfully honest. And I think definitely when it comes to cheating, and I know it's minute, it has nothing to do with leading. That woman needs to believe in you.
I think I think a lot of it's fear of past experience or even things they've witnessed or even stories or hearsay of men leading women and families into the gutter.
Yeah.
Gambling and drugs and all these things.
2-3 different how you have
and
2-3.
Now I got to fight somebody else. War.
Right.
Like you have you have another woman on the side, baby on the side, and now I'm wondering like where the money at? Because we broke. How you got money to spend over here? And it's like.
So I think the best way to avoid that is to be is like I said earlier, is just to be intentional and and vet these people that you are going to share a life with or attempt to share a life with, and try to vet them as best as possible, because I
don't know, for me I'm sorry to cut y'all, but for me that just sounds good when you say vet somebody, because in my experience you kind of find out about this person in the moment, we got to deal with this in the moment.
I mean a person can definitely hide themselves from someone and not show who they truly are for years. But I mean, if you're doing your best to be cautious and making intentional decisions and not just living in the moment, I think you'll be fine.
I really do think so. And I to piggyback off that, I think, are you asking the necessary questions? Are you taking the time to really get to know the person? There's things that if you put yourself in, like, as you're dating, not being in a relationship.
I know the person and I don't like it. What we talking about?
When you say that you don't like it, then what do you not like about it? So then I understand the actual question. Because if you're talking to someone and you're noticing that they have selfish situation, like they're a selfish individual, or you know that you and them cannot cohabitate, then why are we really having a relationship with them? Like, what do you see in them? So then I know why you would want to pursue it. Because these are some ideally things that we call red flags. Do they have more greener flags?
So, all right. So for me, in relationships, you typically try to, work things out, figure things out and work through things. And the reason why you're working through these things is because obviously something is not aligned here. Yeah. So it's always an option just to leave somebody. If anytime you have a problem, anything you have a problem with, just leave them. Whatever. They snore too loud, leave them. They do whatever. You
Snoring
can leave
is not a
no. For you, it might not be. Yeah. For you, it may not be, but for some people, they may not be able to take it.
Yeah. What if they're a light sleeper and they can't sleep at all?
I'm a light sleeper, and I had a snorer before. Can we try the patch? The patch worked for me, but if the patch don't work, there's other things we could try.
Mouth guard.
Let me go to sleep first. I've worked that out where I go to sleep first, But it depends, and when I say that, I wouldn't do that for somebody who has too many red flags, right? But if all is good and their only issue is snoring, for me, I might put I'm gonna figure this one out. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's more towards the person on what you're willing to take.
No, you're being too specific. I'm not necessarily asking about the snore.
It's more than snore.
The point is that you have a problem.
Yes.
With the significant other.
Yes.
And like you said, what you said is, what's the point of y'all being together if you guys?
As I said, they're more red than green flags.
But the point I'm trying to make is that. How do you work through things? I thought that was the conversation. How do you get through these things? Because you can always, the option to leave is always an option like this. Yeah. We don't need to waste our time to talk about that.
Yeah.
But how do you work through these things? How do you get through these red flags and these
I think
walls?
the point that she was making was that it just depends on the situation.
Yeah. It all depends what really matters to you. I can't say what matters to you because like you said, if snoring is like your thing and let's just say they're not giving you sex because you need your sex because that means something important to you. And on top of that, they have a lot of selfish ways. These may be 3 things that are not for you. It irks you, and you can tell because you'll catch yourself being frustrated. I think women, we get more emotional, like we're like crying or we're just more upset and like, damn, why we can't? If you feel that, and I think that's the biggest thing. And then if you open your mouth and you communicate to that person and you're telling them these are the things and these are the worrisomes that I'm having with you, and they're not able to say that they're going to do better or work on it with you, that kind of lets you know who you're dealing with. I think it's I think that's the best part of relationships, is going through trials and tribulations to know that these are things that we're working through and we're still being successful.
Okay, so before we continue, since we're on this topic, I did receive a message from a viewer, and I'm going to play the audio message, but I'm sorry, audience, you're not going to hear her voice or hear what she has to say. You just heard her saying how, has to go out and have fun, and he doesn't. As far as being in places like strip clubs. Okay. So how do you feel like they should navigate that part of their relationship? How do we get past that? Because obviously she didn't think intentionally, thinking that these are the things that I want to continue doing in my life and having fun.
Yeah.
And maybe she there were signs that she should have seen that he didn't.
He's more conservative.
Yeah, this
correct.
Is
he just said, like, she knows that he's conservative, and I think in those situations, I'm not going to say it's a perfect or ideal, but if she enjoys, women twerking on her, and he doesn't mind her going out, if she doesn't have to do it with him, I think that would he probably appreciate that a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But if it comes to a time where it comes with, I feel like compromising. So if he would go, I think if she was to get twerked on, and he has no ill wills to that, then they can still do that. But I think we should respect his will of he doesn't like twerking on him. So I don't think that's going to be, I don't think he should compromise how he feels about women twerking on him to make her happy. But if he's okay with that, and he don't feel like he's crossing too much of himself, I think that's okay. But if he feels like, no, I don't want women dancing on me, but he still shows up for you, I think that he met you halfway.
Thoughts, Duchesne?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I think of compromise a different way, but to me, that's not a compromise. It's just managing the other person's BS, I guess, more so for me, other than just compromising.
It was a compromise because he doesn't like twerking.
Yeah, I don't want to be here.
He doesn't want to, but he's there. He went there with her. He
so
didn't partake. That's a compromise. I wouldn't have left my house. If I don't want to do something, I wouldn't have left my house. You left your house to go there.
Yeah. That's
compromising in itself because this man wouldn't even pull up at a strip club.
No, but see that's the thing I was going to say earlier is that I feel like situations like this, it's, sometimes when, a person has to have their way, like let's say she's not giving up strip club, like, man, I just like strippers, I'm going to go anyways. Like, do you like the person enough to deal with that? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no 50-50 there. There's not a real compromise. I don't want you to be in here. I don't want you to be in this environment. I don't want you to be around these people. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't want none of this. Mm-hmm. But the fact that, not necessarily I'm allowing you to go, but that, you're going.
Yeah.
And I'm still staying with you.
I'm still saying that.
And then I'm also going myself with you. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily a compromise. It's just that the fact that, in my opinion, I enjoy you more than not. I enjoy you enough that, I won't let this take me away from you.
But I also think that it comes down to the fact that she also wants him involved in that. So that's another issue in itself. Because even if he, like you said, allowed her to go, or not, let's take away the word allow, but he, permitted. Damn, I feel like that's worse. It's all bad. But he let her go. He had no problem with her going.
Yeah.
Even though he had no problem with her going.
Yeah.
And you said that was a compromise. It's still the fact that she wants him to go so she can enjoy it. So she's still missing out on that factor that she likes spending her and her spouse in the strip club together.
So I think I think it's not going to be a perfect world, right? So I think and this is what I'm trying to say. So if he's okay with you getting these dances, you obviously get off on them dancing for you. You would prefer if they were dancing on both of you guys.
No, he's not okay with none of this. Let's say that. He ain't okay with none of this. He's going along with it, though.
Okay,
we're here. We are here.
Then I would take what he's allowed so far and call that a day as a win. You cannot win every battle. That is a relationship.
Right.
That's the yin and yang to a relationship.
And
she won that battle that he showed up and not let you, but is okay with you getting twerked on. I think that's a win in itself. Versus there's going to be other battles that you're going to lose after. And
I also think it comes down to the fact that you just have to figure out what weighs out more. Yeah. Right? If it's me going to the strip club that important to me. And if it is, and it's not working, then I need to end the relationship. But if it's not the be all end all of my relationship, then I have to make a sacrifice at some point, some type of sacrifice.
That's when it goes into where I'm saying you have to take a perspective, like what, if you don't like when I say overall more green than red, when you go into pros and cons. Mm-hmm. If this is their only issue or outlet, and overall this is a good woman, this person, I know they're not after my money. I know that she's with me. She's 10 toes down. I know that she's there for me whenever I need her, or my family. Man, I'm going to that strip club. But I might not have to participate. I don't want to have to compromise myself and let people dance on me. But I think she should take that as a win that he showed up.
But wait, it's not also about the quantity too.
Yeah,
it's about the weight of it.
Yeah.
So like, even though if that's the one thing that is a red flag, if that to me weighs more,
if
than
you're
all of that,
biblical, and you don't want to see that, then that.
Well, I was saying on her side, if going to the strip to me is that important, and it weighs more than you taking care of me and all these other things, then that's her right. And if it weighs more than that, then she has to leave that situation. If that's so important to her to have fun and be out there and get twerked on.
Not.
Right, because she's still married. She's still there, ain't she?
Exactly.
Now that's the point I'm trying to make.
Like the give and take.
No, see, that's the point I'm trying to make. Of the give and take ain't necessarily 50-50. You get what I'm saying? The give and take sounds like 80-20. That's the point I'm trying to make.
You're talking about that one scenario, but you have to remember that
I'm saying the point I was making earlier is that in most scenarios, you get what I'm saying? A lot of scenarios, more times than not, is that it's going to be a heavy split on one side versus the other. So it's not necessarily a compromise, because when it comes to the word compromise, I'm thinking we're close to a 50-50.
But somebody is compromising. Even if it's 80-20, somebody is compromising. Because if he's saying, I don't like you going to a strip club, and she says, I'm not going to go anymore, she made the compromise. Mm-hmm. It's not a compromise. Doesn't have to be a mutual 50-50. A compromise is just somebody making a sacrifice, saying, I'm willing to do this, or I'm willing not to do this for what we have.
And when I say that is, it's in your view, you're looking at one topic and saying, that was an 80-20. Let's just say this situation. There'll be another, in relationship, there's going to be another topic where he want to go out with the boys, and I really want him to go out to this. And then overall...
That's what I'm trying to say. People don't know how to manage the 80... What I'm trying to say is people don't know... People are struggling with managing the 80-20. They're trying to force it to a 50-50. You get what I'm saying? That's when the conflict arises.
You cannot...
You understand what I'm saying?
You can't force everything to be 50-50.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Like, in relationships, when you have an issue with females when it comes to finance, when it comes to stuff like this or whatever the case is, and you're trying to get your point across. She wants to be equal with you, so it's like, no, if you can do this, I can do this, and it's like, bro, life don't work like this. You know what I'm saying? Life is not a I can do it. You can, no, bro. I
think you're thinking that person must be petty or a tick for tack person, because there's no way.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
I have to disagree with you. That can't work in any relationship. That doesn't even work with you having kids. That doesn't even work with kids. So how can that work with an adult? Let's be honest, right? So overall, is all I'm saying is that in every situation you're not gonna win. That is facts. In every situation that you had with anybody, you can't say you always won, right? If you did, give it to you.
Thank you.
No. So ideally, you have to understand and I think a successful person, there's some battles it ain't worth winning. There's some battle is worth winning. And if it's something that bothers you that bad, then it's worth winning. You get what I'm saying? And I think it's just like Leo said with the compromise, I don't take it as 50-50. I take it as I will compromise for you and you compromise for me. There's some things where I'm going to be like, oh, babe, I really want you to go out with me tonight. And he's going to be like, no, I want to hang out with the boys. But I know he hung out with me last 2 other nights. All right, babe, you can hang out with the boys. Even though I want to be right. I want him to really go out with this event. But I understand the greater thing of it. Let him have his time.
But also with that part, that particular part too, compromise goes a little deeper than that too. Because she could be like, okay, he could also be like, hey, I'm going to go out with the boys, but I'm only going to go out with them for 2 hours. And then when I come back, we could do whatever you want. We can watch a movie, we could do. So that's another aspect of compromising is still like, you can still do what you want to do, but then you're making a slight sacrifice to make sure that you make sure everybody's happy, you know?
Yeah.
So that's also another aspect of compromising that I wanted to touch on while you were on that part right there.
Thank
but
you.
The other thing I also did want to bring up as a topic is knowing when to voice your energy level, right? So there's going to be days where you may not be at 100%, or your spouse may not be at 100%, and you have to be able to voice that and say, hey, you know, I know I usually cook every night, but I'm not 100%. I only could give you 20%.
Yeah.
I can only give you 40%.
Yeah.
And your spouse has to be able to receive that and say, all right, I'm going to put up the rest of your 60%.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm gonna get the kids ready for bed. I'm gonna make sure I feed them and get them ready for bed, help them do their homework and do it. Cause you usually do it, but I'm gonna do it for you because right now you're not up for it. That conversation also has to happen too, because if you don't have that conversation, then it's also gonna lead to friction. Right.
I agree.
And it might be nice where y'all both were at 40%, but y'all gonna take this 40%, make it 80% and get it done.
And get the dishes washed.
That's another aspect of compromising is you have to be able to communicate and let your other partner know where you're lacking or where you're at energy wise too.
And I think the biggest struggle on that goes back to, I know we're gonna keep saying this all tonight, communication. I think it's just knowing how to how that person receives information. Like if that guy is that person that you have to tell, bae, I'm at a 40. If he come through and he could tell that I'm sitting on this couch, I'm tired, I'm laid out, he like, babe, what's wrong? You know what I'm saying? Or he has to see something, like it is what it is. You have to know how to communicate verbally or him seeing you.
And to piggyback off that, where my camera at? This is my camera here. Ladies.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
When we ask you what's wrong, please don't make us ask multiple times. Just give us the first time we ask what's wrong. Just tell us so that way we can already, because we're ready in that mindset. When we ask what's wrong, we're ready to fix it. When we have to dig for it, we wasted all the energy digging and we don't feel like fixing. So just please tell us what's wrong the first time we ask. You agree, Duchesne?
Absolutely, my brother.
Thank you.
Ooh, that was a whole man episode. Okay. Tell them on the first time. Got you. But yeah. So no, I can receive that. I think the biggest thing that women, we struggle with, and just so you guys know, or I feel that I see a lot of women struggles with, is just more of knowing when to communicate to a man, and let's say the right timing to communicate to the man.
I got a gem for that.
Go ahead.
I hate that we need to talk. Mm-hmm. It's all about setting up the shot or setting it up, the foundation. Mm-hmm. So my gem is that you have to have a safe word.
What?
Yes, a safe word.
Traumatized.
So you have a safe word, like, I don't know, something that you never usually say, right? Yeah. So let's say your safe word is Colorado. Uh-huh. You'll say, and that means when I say Colorado, that means, hey, I need to tell you something, but it might hurt your feelings, but I don't want you to take offense. Colorado means, when I say Colorado, that means it's a safe space for me to express myself and you to rebuttal and express yourself without any feelings, without any judgment or anything like that. So I say you should have a safe word, Colorado.
So you be saying Colorado in your relationships, bro?
I use a different word, but I'm not gonna say it here.
Oh my God, bro.
But yeah, you have a safe word, and so when somebody says, hey, how are you feeling, and you say Colorado, and then they say, okay, that means you're about to say something that might hurt their feelings, and they need to be prepared for that. And you allow them to get prepared for it.
That's cute. I'm gonna take that because I'm gonna say honestly,
it is cute.
It is cute. Because I'm gonna be honest, in my relationships,
I ain't never Colorado. Man, get your ass out of my face, Colorado my ass.
Right, because if you're not, that lets you know if you're not ready for it. If you're not ready for it,
start that shit.
Right. So you know what I'm saying? But there might be a time you might be ready for it.
Like, babe, do you mind? Us having this conversation, and then I would lead with like, I don't want no offense, I don't want no issues. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling from a vulnerable state. And sometimes you be like, man, I'm having a hard day too. Well, I'm gonna get back at you. If it ain't a good day for you, I think that's so much cuter.
So cute.
So
Thank
cute.
Don't steal my shit.
Everybody, Colorado. So I think it's just saying like, hey, I'm just coming to you, with no offense. I'm not trying to come at you. I'm just trying to tell you how I feel. And for the most part, we were able to have this whatever conversation at the right time. But I will honestly say I do notice whenever you're more frustrated, and again, me being a woman, we keep a lot of stuff internal, and eventually when we pop. That is never a good way to communicate to the man. He's not receiving anything.
Facts.
Yeah. So want to get to the next topic, or you have another one?
No.
All right, so our next topic is going to be snooping or cheating. Which one is worse? So I'm going to let you guys start off. Which one is worse? Who want to take the lead on this one?
So for me, I want to say cheating is worse. Snooping is very invasive. It's very invasive. It's annoying as fuck. And you it's just so much, because it's like you're like you snooping, you go in their guys chat, and it's like, bro, like why are you concerned about what I'm talking about to the guys, right? So that's one set of frustration. But cheating kind of takes it to a whole nother level, because like now I gotta imagine, like all I can think about is a penis in your mouth. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, right. So it's like what did y'all do? How did you enjoy it? What did you say? These are all things that it's like now I can't. My imagination runs wild. I can't live with that. You know what I'm saying? It's like my imagination is running wild. Or what did you do? How did you
what
get
if she's
here?
like at your location? Like, I mean, snooping like she's, you guys share location. Babe, how long you been over there? Or like she's calling you, babe, I seen you over here on 24th Street and 18. Like
I can deal with that, because I just not answer the phone.
that I think
there's so much more control to it. Like you can text me.
So much more issues.
No, but yeah, you can text me and you can be like, I see you here. You've been at this place for however long. I can ignore these things.
Yeah.
I can't ignore my own conscience, and my own conscience is going to give me vivid images of you doing things that I don't want to see you doing.
Okay.
So that's the issue for me.
Okay. But
right?
you don't. But you. Okay, and so there's nothing worse than that for you.
For me, yeah, because it's me, right? You going you're not involved no more. It's just me. So when I'm sitting alone in the dark, or I'm sitting alone working or whatever, and you whatever comes up and that reminds you, it could be a Giveon song that comes on, and it's like, what the. And then you just start thinking, and then your brain starts to process and show you. I am scarred.
Shane, can you answer that question for me? Which one is worse, snooping or cheating for you?
So I'm assuming these two situations is like I found out that she's cheating, or I find out that she's snooping.
And when I say snooping, you ain't find out she's snooping. She's snooping.
No, but that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, let's say I
You know what snooping means, right?
I guess checking my phone and stuff. And
Going through all your
stalking.
shit.
Stalking.
Stalking how much people you like. How many people like your.
Oh, why did you like her picture?
We in a relationship. That's what
right.
snooping.
It's acceptable now. It's okay now. I made it. I'm in the big leagues.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm snooping. Like I'm all up in there. Like I'm like, hey, did Shane stop by your house before he got home? Or
wait. So wait.
That's snooping.
Wait. She also messaging people.
That's snooping.
Like.
So no, that's why I asked the question of do I know or don't I know? Because like let's say she's cheating. No, hold on. Let's say she's cheating and you don't know, and also let's say she's snooping and you don't know. With her snooping and you don't know, she can be altering your whole life. You know what I'm saying? She know where you're going to be, when you're supposed to be there, who you're going to be with, et cetera, et cetera. So she can kind of affect your whole life and plan stuff for when you got your stuff going on. And versus if she cheating, you just don't know about it. She just out here, you just happy as hell every day when y'all wake up. You just don't even just happy. That's it. So if you don't know about it, you get what I'm saying. In my opinion, I ain't gonna lie, snooping would probably be better just because it affects you more.
In that aspect.
Yeah, in that aspect of it.
However,
if I'm finding out that you cheating, I don't know what else is gonna matter more than that. Ain't too much more than that.
Yeah.
So cheat.
What about you?
Cheating for you. I have to say it's the same for me. Cheating, I could probably deal with a snooper.
I can't deal with a snooper either though. I don't want to know you snooping.
You don't want to know you.
No, when I'm thinking about snooping, I'm not even just thinking about somebody just checking your I'm not thinking about somebody just checking your phone and stuff like that. I'm thinking about somebody like being intentional, like trying to pop up where you supposed to be at, like you said, trying to go through your group messages. They might have a little secret teddy bear camera in a corner or something like that. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, it depends on how far your woman willing to go.
I know y'all crazy. I know y'all finna go to the moon. I already know.
So no, I think, man.
And
so
I mean,
I
there
think,
might be a camera in your car.
You feel me?
I had
yeah. So my thing is that I can't stand the ones that like. They like it, like, you know, I'm talking to my homeboy. You know, we joking, and you still having you getting upset about something that had nothing to do with you, that you know was a joke, but you upset because it's the principle. Like,
okay,
that right there that's the annoying aspect for me of snooping. Yeah, I can't deal with that.
So so if she does not so if she snoops, and you know she all up in your information, but she doesn't get mad at the parts of like when you're having guy talks, but she's just the snooper.
No, I'm not even concerned about her having issues with guy talks. I'm more so concerned about her affecting my life. That's what I'm concerned.
Yeah,
about.
because
like,
let's say I hear what your point you're saying, because let's say, like, for me, I'm a photographer, right? Let's say if a famous model reaches out to me and is like, oh, I want to do a photo shoot or whatever, and she snoops and she sees that. And then she writes, oh, he can't do no photo shoot with you, da 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 da. And
no,
she just ruins.
She
ruins that opportunity. I mean,
no. You're being too dramatic.
Yeah,
like, let's say of the day of the shoot, all of a sudden
she shows up.
No, all of a sudden she got the worst toothache in the world, and she needs your help.
Even that.
It's the same thing.
No.
But my point is
like,
that she's
she shows
affecting
up.
your life. You get what I'm saying? She's
That's affecting my life too.
No, but she's trying to manipulate your life. She's not even being direct about it.
We're not talking about manipulation. You guys are changing the scenario.
I'm sorry. But there are people who are direct, but you never know. Like, I've experienced it where somebody snooped and reached out to people, and I never knew they reached out to these people. And then I was like, "Yo, what happened?" And they were like, "Oh, this is what happened." I was like, "Why didn't you never tell me this happened?"
But that's something totally different.
Yeah,
I mean, like, snooping,
direct, bro.
about the snooping as far as she's showing up to that location.
That's just
snooping.
as direct as messaging the person.
No,
snooping, and when she's
to
showing
direct
up
to send a message to that person, she'll know that can financially mess up the money that you make. It would hinder you in some type of way. She's not going to hinder you.
Okay, wait. When she shows up, is she hiding in the bushes?
No, she's finna come and take a seat and watch the whole situation.
And then they're gonna be like, "Who the hell is this?" Like,
that's my wife. She's snooping. Let her snoop.
Well, leave her alone, right?
Leave her alone. And if you keep bothering her, she gonna pop out on you.
She's behaving.
She's being very good right now.
She's being very good.
Now, if she start calling, she is not behaving herself.
No, that's not how it works. When you come on, when you're working a set, let's just say we're using a photo shoot, for example. When you come on set, they're gonna be like, "Who the fuck is this person?"
My wife.
Why is she here?
That's it. She's
making me feel uncomfortable.
My wife.
My
She's
wife.
making me feel uncomfortable.
What's she doing? Exactly.
I'm the paying customer.
I can't do nothing, but that's my wife. Yeah, like, why is my wife making you uncomfortable?
Nah.
She here. Booty clap it. Please keep on clapping so she don't come talk to you. You better clap it now. You better act outrageous because my wife is here watching.
I think it depends on the situation. What if it's a corporate event and she can't even get in, or she's standing outside? Like, what? She
gonna be outside, babe. Okay. I was outside waiting on you.
You look through the window, you see.
Listen, you be like, is she all right? She just watching, make sure everything okay. She make sure I get home safe. I'll be okay with that.
I'm still on the snooping part. I'm fine with snooping. Cheating is
like, I'm just saying, like, I think all that is okay. I think nobody need to call nobody. Don't call.
But that's the way it leads to. That's what I'm telling you. It doesn't stop as in I'm just an innocent ghost on fly on the wall. No, they intervene with your life.
Your life.
When I say intervene, like, she sits down and shows up. Why are you mad?
That's not. But that's the lighter side of snooping and intervening. There's a darker side.
Much darker.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
No, like what if she got?
Like, no, I hear what you're saying.
What if she got beef with your mom or your sister, a family member, whatever the case is, and now she's trying to be like y'all got something planned, and now she's trying to be messy and playing something around that. Or
Right.
Oh, so she's being malicious. Nah, I ain't talking about anybody being malicious now.
Yeah,
I'm just mean like a
But that's
regular
what-
snoop.
that's
That's
where
what
it
it leads to.
but-
There's no reason for you to snoop unless you're gonna do something with this information.
Right, or it's somebody you don't like.
At
and
some
you
point, you're
wanna
gonna
make
get like imagine snooping on a really boring person, like somebody that does nothing all the time. Is it going like why the? Man,
I'm most
I'm probably gonna break it with you just cause I can't.
That's why
find
we
out
have.
nothing. Like,
That's
this
why
is
we have
terrible.
spies.
So most likely you're gonna stop snooping. But if you're snooping, it's just I think of there's some people that I know are just nosy. They're just nosy. They don't mean any
Yeah, a
ill
lot of
will.
people, yeah.
They just nosy. So she's just there to be nosy.
No. Nobody's just nosy. They're nosy because they want to find out information. If they don't find out anything, they're not gonna give two rats.
Listen,
about
she's
it.
not gonna bother you. She in that corner, mind her business. She's just there to be there. Like,
No. But we're interesting people, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you up to something?
No, I don't.
If I'm not up
it don't
to
necessarily have to.
anything.
It don't necessarily have to be cheating that I'm up to.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm always.
I'm an adventurous
interesting.
person. I like
Very
to go.
interesting.
I'm exactly.
Yeah.
So you could pop up everywhere I go to. You just gonna
No,
be on
I
there
don't
for
mean
adventure.
that. I don't mean that, Alex. I think you're missing the point. Like he might have something going on per se.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I ain't got nothing going on, but she's snooping on my phone. Now she see all his business or whatever the case.
We got
is.
pillow talk now.
We gonna get out my face.
First of all,
How do you know this?
most married people, they listen. I'm just letting y'all know. If y'all don't know, ladies, about your friends that are married, they usually have side conversations about you. It's like y'all all in a relationship.
Who men are having side conversations about their wives?
Pillow talking. Pretty
It's
much
pillow.
what
It's
she's
basically
talking,
pillow talk. Listen, there's some guys that I know that be waiting to hear like, so what happened with her? So she still with him, or did they break up? What happened?
Oh, you talking about
Like-
speaking to their spouse?
Yeah, speaking to your spouse. So it's just we're all in this relationship together. You know we
No,
married.
get your ass out my face. If
I
I
don't care about none of that shit. Honestly,
Huh?
I don't care about none of that.
Nah, bro, you just ain't heard no good, like, interesting.
I've
Yeah,
heard,
yeah, yeah.
I've heard
Nah,
stuff.
nah,
Yeah.
bro. I didn't-
Yeah, you wanna
I
know.
heard-
So I heard. So with one of my exes, she had a cousin, and he had like a whole lot of issue. I used to keep up with that, but eventually I just stopped caring.
But you was keeping up when it was real juicy. You was in it. Come
At some
on.
point, I'm not denying it. I'm just saying that at some point I stopped caring.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that
Because it became uninteresting to you. But
Basically.
that was the point I was making. Is once it be interesting, like
we in it.
yeah,
Yes, I mean that's with anything though.
that's my point.
Yeah, because I've gotten caught walking by somebody was watching Ayana Save My Life, and I was just like, oh,
I don't know what that means.
Ayana Save My Life. You never seen that?
No, bro.
It was a black lady. She was on Oprah, and then she got her own show, and she would like do interventions with families and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know who she is too?
And then
Yeah.
she'll slam on the desk, but not on my watch.
Yes.
No,
No idea. Bro.
short hair lady.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Do not forget to subscribe, like, follow on all platforms. We want to say thank you so much. And this is our 6th episode.